Hey, my name is Brandon Toombs and I'm an Employee Central consultant. In today's video, we're going to cover a new tool from SuccessFactors for mass changes to positions. I had a chance to check this out and it looks pretty promising. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, here is a brief tour of mass data management. This is relatively new functionality and I haven't used it a whole lot, but I've done some checkout and it looks pretty simple and wanted to just walk you through the steps involved. So first thing you need to do is you need to set up the configuration for this to say what fields need to be available to filter on and what fields you need to be able to change. So you would do that by going to Manage Data. Of course, you're going to go through the guide and figure out all of the permissions. So you have to get all the permissions set up to allow for this. But once you do that, then you're going to go into Manage Data. I've already set one up. If you follow the guide, you would see that you would need to basically you just create something called Mass Changes Job Configuration. And you can see the one that I've set up here. Called it position changes. Right now, that is all you can change through this mass data management is positions. And you can see here, we've got all of these things listed down here. It's all pretty intuitive. But the main thing to note here is down in the field configurations, I need to add my position fields. So I have to add position fields for two reasons. Number one, I have to say which fields need to be available for me to filter or select on. And we'll see that in a minute. Then number two, I need to say which fields I need to make editable. So you can see here I have just added in a bunch of fields. You'll notice here that I have a default filter and then I have this details section. So I'll talk a little bit more about the default filter here in a minute, but I'll just go in and let me show you, for example, cost center. So if I click on this cost center, you can see here that the field is not part of the default filter. It is editable. It's filterable and editable. So in other words, I have it set up so that that this mass data tool can change the cost center field. I also have it listed as a filter, but it is not part of the default filter. So what is the default filter? The default filter is 8 fields that immediately appear when you go in and look at the mass data tool. You can only, I mentioned 8. You can have a maximum of 8 default filters, and you'll see why in a minute. You can't just have 30 of those across the top of the screen. It wouldn't look right. So that's pretty much it. So in other words, you just go in for the position object and you decide which fields need to be visible, need to be available to filter on or select on, and then you need to decide what fields need to be editable. So that's pretty much it for this part. So this is the configuration step. And then, of course, the next thing we want to do is actually go in and make a change. So you're going to go to I'm going to go to Mass Data Management, and you'll see here Mass Data Management. You can see here I've already done one, and you can see the way that process worked. Now I'm going to create a new request. So I'm going to click on Create. And then from here, you can see, as I mentioned, there are a maximum of 8 filters across the top here. You'll notice that there are 8. I can adapt filters. And so, as I mentioned, you can add in more filters. I could add company and cost center. Those are not part of my default, but if I wanted to filter on those, I could add those as well. So hopefully that helps you understand that concept. Now, what I want to show you is just how simple this is to quickly make a change. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to just do team. Let's do team 110. As position title. I've got this is my demo system, and I've got all of my positions listed into teams with the team number at the top. So you'll see here when I click on Team 110, you can see my 3 positions that are in Team 110, and they are all listed here. Now, what I'm going to show you is how I can just select all of them. In this case, what I'm going to do is they are all in Atlanta, and I want to move them to Boston. So I'm going to click on Edit. And you can see here where location is Atlanta. And notice these are the fields that I have configured as editable. So I'm just going to select Boston from this list. Click Apply. And the cool thing about this is now I can, you can see here that these are all listed as modified. I click OK. And you can see here, these are all show what has been changed on these positions. And then all I have to do now is and you'll see in a minute, I will submit. But the nice thing about this is it lets you kind of see the change before you make the change, and then you can do the update. So it's a nice graphical way of getting the process done. So you see here, I've got these 3 positions highlighted. I'm changing them from Atlanta to Boston. I'm going to click Submit, submit the mass change with these 3 selected positions. I'm going to click Yes. And you'll see here, I'll receive an email shortly that tells me what how it's going or how it went. Let's see here. I'll just hit refresh a couple times. Since there's only 3, it should go pretty quickly. There is some sort of threshold where it's just going to do it in the background, and it would just so it won't do it automatically. It will just wait. But if it's a small change like this one, it will go through right away. So you can see here, this mass change processed successfully. I could download a log if I want to, and that would just give me the list of positions. But I'm just going to show you the result instead. So I'm going to go to org chart. I'll go to position, org chart, team 110. Oh, nope. There we go. And now I can just see if I go into any of these positions, you will see that it is changed to Boston. So if I go to manage, you would see here that the position is changed. The other thing to note is that it's automatically going to update the employees record. So it's not going to ask you, do you want to synchronize this to the incumbents? It's going to automatically do it for you. It's going to trigger all your business rules, and that's really probably a good thing, and it is a good thing actually. So, but you can see here, if I click on change history, you can see your office location changes come through and is updated on the employees record as well. So you can see here, you can see kind of how simple this tool is to use. It's a little bit more intuitive than mass changes for metadata objects. I think mass changes for metadata objects may be a little bit more powerful and has more functionality as far as like if you need to make a complex change based on something that's based on a business rule. That may be the way to go. But if you're just needing to make a simple, straightforward change to a bunch of positions at once, this may be your best bet. So hope you find this useful.